You ready, Kevin? Ladies and gentlemen, Marion County's
2016 Teacher of the Year is
Tanya Travieso, Vanguard High School.
I always, from when I was a little girl, wanted to be a teacher. I knew I wanted to be a teacher. And then when I was in college, I took a class on ESE class as an elective, and just fell in love with it. I just loved it. I loved the kids. I knew I wanted to be a high school ESE teacher. I know there's such a high level of burnout in my position, but I don't feel burned out at all. I mean, I love what I do. I feel like I have the best job. What's your job? Do you remember? Washer. Well, I have some dishes for you. I teach students. Most of them have intellectual disabilities. I have a self-contained unit where all my students stay with me and remain with me all day. They usually begin when they're in 9th grade around the age of 14, and they'll stay until they're 22 years old. Perfect. You want to just put it at the table for her? Yeah. A lot of the students at Hillcrest and my students really could intermingle. You know, some of my students could remain over there. A lot of times it comes down to what the parent wants. A lot of people feel uncomfortable having their student on a mainstream campus. I personally advocate for it. I think it's really important, not only for my students, but for the rest of the population at a high school like Vanguard to interact with my students. So, and I definitely don't segregate my students in here. We run businesses, we do a lot of stuff with the mainstream kids, and they really get to know them.
Would anyone like cookies?
Yes.
My students run a business, and that's how we support a lot of our programs. We do 3 days a week, we bake and sell cookies. My students have to go around to the classes, and they actually, they run the whole program. They count money, they make change, they bake the cookies, bag the cookies, clean up afterwards. Okay, who's the next person you can ask?
You get the Sprite.
That's what you want. Sweet tea, please.
When I first started teaching, the ESE position seemed to always be a coach. They would just stick a coach in the ESE position because that's, an easy certification. And so I always thought that people pretty much looked down on ESE and just kind of felt like we weren't important. But I have seen a huge transformation over the years, and I feel it's this process, this journey that I've been on with the Teacher of the Year has really shown me that, wow, people really do think highly of what I do and highly of my program, which is such an honor. When I have IB teachers that are so happy for me, it makes you feel very rewarded.
Just pick one.
Thank you much.
Don't spill it.
Okay, I'll try not to. Thank you, Travis.
This is a busy week for Travieso students and hundreds of others who will descend on the Livestock Pavilion for the Southeastern Youth Fair.
We're raising a pig. One of my students is going to show the pig in the Southeastern Youth Fair show. We're hoping to sell money and sell it and raise money for our program. That's how we kind of are able to pay for everything that we do. We're constantly trying to raise money. We also work in the greenhouse. We have a greenhouse, and we do a lot of growing vegetables and fruits and that kind of stuff, and that always needs money. We'd like to repair our greenhouse. We wrote some grants this year and got a huge hydroponic system where we can grow over like 540 crops of lettuce, and we haven't been able to use that because our greenhouse isn't up to code, and we can't set that up yet. But so we're always trying to find ways to raise money for our kids.
After spending a year at Fessenden Elementary as a certified sub, Dylan Bishop was caught up in the layoffs of 2013.
When I found out, I was proactive with it. I knew I wanted to do this, so I applied for other neighboring counties. I did it just as a means to get back to Marion County because this is where I live. I've been coming here since I was 12 years old, and I love the area. This is what brought me here. I want to have an impact on this community. I ended up getting a full-time job in Citrus County. I don't regret anything. I'm a firm believer in things happen for a reason, and that whole experience made me a better person. It made me just to have more experience. I mean, I was able to see what they were doing in a neighboring county and then maybe bring it here, or vice versa. I was able to take what I got in Marion County my first year and take it down there. I feel like with these experiences, it made me where I am today.
Where he is today is Marion County's Rookie Teacher of the Year. The cutoff for rookie status is 3 years. This is actually his 4th year in the classroom, but that first one as a certified sub doesn't count. Just don't tell him that.
I was their teacher. That's how I looked at it my first year. I treated them just like they were my own kids, and I took my responsibilities very seriously. It was the best experience I had, because without that experience, I wouldn't be sitting here today. It was meant to be just a stepping stone, and it got me where I am right now. It was a life changer, and I think a certified sub from my role was the same as where I am right now.
To the casual observer, he runs a pretty rowdy 3rd grade classroom, but he does so for a reason.
Going back to my first year of teaching, I didn't have them moving as much, and I just found that those kids are just, they're not listening. They look like they're listening, but they're not listening. And the more I get these kids moving, they might not seem like they are listening, but they are listening, and they are catching on to things. And I just noticed that my kids' comprehension has improved the more that they're engaged and when they're moving, and when they do get a little bit off task, I bring them back in, and then they're ready to go. Kids just want to move. It's just a natural instinct to move. They want to move. They want to be able to talk with their friends and their peers, and I want them to talk. And if it's on topic and they're engaging in it and they're hearing it not just from their teacher, but they're hearing it from their classmates, those kids that aren't going to listen to me all the time, they're going to listen to their classmates and hear, oh, I get it now, and it's going to be a click, and they're going to get it. And I just want a student-centered classroom. It's not my classroom. It's our classroom.